Esqueça tudo que sabe de jogos de guerra. O jogo de ação em larga escala War Thunder vai trazer uma tempestade de experiências.
Contenders start to kind of feature towards the front, but it's definitely kind of warming up a lot.
Brody Chapman, come on, get back in. Gosh, it's a tough game this we play, Brian.
Yeah, if you're getting distance now, it's going to be very difficult to get back to the front of the race, because the race is definitely on. The chase down for these two riders here. You can clearly see that Ruig is the stronger rider at the front. The peloton are coming. You know, they're closing this gap behind. Of course, the Swiss are happy with this situation, and you know, they're trying to kind of block things down at the back. But yeah, we're coming across the line, 3 laps to go. It's starting to hot up.
Certainly is. 3 hours and 23 minutes in the saddle, and we still have the none too small matter of 45 kilometers to go. We've got about an hour and a half of racing left, and they better start working together. Somebody's going to get worked over, and guess who's dead center of the road? Absolutely remarkable. Ziga has ridden so cleverly today. She's kept herself, she's paced herself brilliantly. She spoke to us at the beginning of the day and said that that's precisely what you have to do, especially if you're on your own. Well, she's got company now in Ashley Moolman from South Africa, the veteran, 38 years of age, so it's a green front to the chase at the moment. Ashley Moolman, top 20 on every single occasion she's taken part in the Worlds, and that's been numerous. 38 years of age now. How many Worlds has she done, Brian? It's a lot.
15.
Wow. What experience is that?
Yeah, no, incredible. Just looking to see there's now 34 riders in this main peloton now, and still a lot of riders that we haven't kind of really mentioned, just sitting there patiently waiting for this race to unfold. But just looking down the line there, we've got Ashley Millman, Ziegler, Marcus, Kaluri, Valeris, Koch, Van Anrooy, Van der Breggen, Labus, Spratt, Nieuwen, Domo, Ferran Prevot, Garcia, Niedermeyer, Dijgaard, Longo, Bergini, Malcotti, Vollering, Lippert, Chabet, Russo. They're all the major contenders are still in this main group.
Well, it's starting to kick off, and Australia have decided to leave the party, quite frankly. Yeah, great to see. Well, we did say Setta's about to catch a fish. Maybe she could land the big one. Let's wait and see. And Uvedoma as well, kind of lurking at the front, waiting to go. And here go the markouts. This wouldn't surprise me if it's Uruyakas. Let's see in a few moments' time. She was just hanging off the back. I think, in fact, I'm looking bottom of your screen. I think Uruyakas has just taken a toot on a bottle. So the Netherlands still very much all together. But Amanda Spratt on the attack. This is great to see. Couple of podiums in the Worlds, 2018, 2019 as well, so there's been a bit of a gap. Veteran status now, 36 years of age, but sometimes a circuit such as this, wisdom counts for a big percentage of your potential success.
I tell you what, this stage, this part of the circuit, I've seen it in a couple of races already. It's quite a good position of the course to go on the attack. Of course, most people, and I've said it a couple of times today, that this is probably the easiest part of the course, but everybody's thinking, right, this is time where I can relax a little bit, and sometimes that's a good time to go on the attack and try and gain a little bit of time, and this is what Amanda Spratt's trying to do here.
Do you know the great Terry Reimer, who was an endurance motorcyclist, won the Bol d'Or 7 times? Phenomenal. I once said to him, how do you just keep winning? And he said, by making the easy bits hard.
Yeah.
And that should be a t-shirt, Brian. Make the easy bits hard and gain the success. When everyone else has switched off, switch on.
Yeah,
go.
No, exactly. Everybody's thinking, well, I can relax a little bit. Amanda Spratt decided, no, you're not relaxing, and that was the fastest lap of the race so far.
There we go. Make the easy bits hard, and Spratt has done exactly that, and has demanded answers from those to whom she has asked the question. And at the moment, it's France that's responding. Switzerland, you know, very effective, still look strong. They've been there when it's mattered, but haven't emptied themselves, and I think that is a very, very strong way to be. just looking further back here, and Ferrand Prévot, there she is, number 25, with possibly the neatest look to her as well. Looks unhurried, Brian, unhassled, and that's a very strange thing today. Here she is.
Well, this is the way to ride. Just relax. Don't get involved. And I think for Pauline Ferrand Prévot, it will be a last lapper. I think that's what we should be counting on. That let them knock lumps each other, and of course the onus is in them a little bit. That's why they're starting to ride on the front.
Well, she had a long chat there with Juliette Labousse, who is a great climber. So she will be essentially the climbing guard for Pauline Ferrand Prévot. So whatever their plan is, you can see that it's going to be Labousse leading in Ferrand Prévot, you can be sure of. Kerbayol, who's a great time trialist, as you well know, will also be somebody who will set the pace before Labousse goes on the climb, possibly the final time of asking, as Brian said. And then Ferrand Prévot winning. Is that what your crystal ball is telling you, Brian?
Well, it does look as if patience is going to be a virtue in this one.
Meu trabalho é fácil porque eu uso o Clique A. É assim que eu acompanho todas as minhas tarefas. Eu começo despejando tudo o que preciso fazer em uma visualização de lista. Depois, defino uma prioridade e uma data de entrega para manter tudo nos trilhos. Crio status personalizados.
Very strong time trialist, as we already know. Already a gold medalist here at the championships. But you can look at them in the group here that they're riding off the back of France now, because France have decided that after Italy they want to control the latter part of this race.
Look at the pace down here. Now then, you're looking at the leads of the race. They have a 32-second margin, and they're still making a good fist of this. We're just getting into the range of being able to do something on your own. And guess what? Vas is going again. Well, she asked the questions, and the Germans respond after saying, Vas? Vas? Yes. And indeed, they want to make sure that this doesn't run away from them. Switzerland, in fact, it is, that have just embedded in here. They've got Rug up the road, but why not latch on and indeed let Vas do a little bit of work? You've got an excuse as well, not potentially to fully engage. Let's see. Spat has been taken by the peloton, and meanwhile, Chase is back on up front. Still they wait back here, and some nerves as well. Every time you see two riders go up the road, especially with that strength and determination, Brian, you've got to be asking yourself, what on earth's going on? How do we deal with this? And look at the questions. They're already talking within the Netherlands team. That was Vollering talking to Royakkers. Again, just as Labousse was being spoken to by Ferrand Prévot, Labousse being the climber, Royakkers being spoken to here by Vollering. I think it's the same conversation. When do we go? You lead me out. Here we go. Look at that corner here. Vas sails in. Lichty stays with it. The pair of them are fully committed. This is Blanca Vas thinking, all right, I went earlier. I know what this course is like. I know that I've got something on board. She took a stage of the Tour de France, don't forget. That was in 2024 and 23, I beg your pardon. It was the Cesare stage. And if you have a look at that and the profile of it, it was pretty much the same as today. Lumpy quick day. That's exactly what we've got. And Blanca Vas will be thinking, can I? Should I? Will I? Which took a stage on the Giro, of course, a Tour de Swiss Women as well, the Romandie. 6 times a road race champion in Hungary. No other rider made the trip. She says, I want to go. And right now, she is going for it. She wants to get over to this pair, and that's fantastic. They've already found that Chase with Vas. What, 14, 15 seconds on the peloton? This is brilliant. So it's getting as animated as we'd hoped, Brian.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, you know, we still have, you know, quite a few numbers of quite a few of the kind of stronger nations. I think we've got 5 Marcus Royakkers, Androy van der Breggen and Vollering of the Dutch team still left here.
Well, the temptation is too much, and France just can't bear it any longer. They need somebody to mark out, and this draws a response from the Netherlands. Of course it does. Won't be surprised if that's Ruyakas herself, but I think she's too valuable. This is likely to be, could it be Van der Breggen herself? This is Cobayol of France, who goes off up the road. She's the time trialist. This was the setup I was telling you about, so she's trying to engage in that role. So France's battle plan is already on the table. Who else is going to play their cards? Bit of a flick out of the elbow here, and Rug comes through with Benito. Just now will go solidly on her wheel. A cord has been settled between this pair. They now are going for it because we've got a bridgeable distance now. 38 kilometres from home. We saw it in the men's juniors. There's no reason why, indeed, those with a lot more experience can make it stick from here. Trouble is, the peloton itself also knows and has its own wisdom. Here's Vass in the chase with Lichty, getting no help from Lichty because Rug is up front, so 2 from Switzerland. There's the peloton behind. I think it's Ukraine with Kuskova that is within this group as well. It is. Germany doing the policing. 41 seconds the peloton, and here are the Netherlands just like cruising up. Yes, cue the Jaws music, as they say. This is Ruyakas back here, good climber, but out of position at the moment. Anderson of Sweden also just stretching her legs. Likewise for Canada, Valliere, who I said is one of the absolute best of the outsiders here, that might be a dark horse and outside hope for Canada, is also in the vanguard. There she is, just bouncing at the back. Both the Norwegian riders are still very much in the game here, which bodes very well for Alerud. This course suits her very much so, and Uxet, who is definitely a punchy rider, can garner a top 20, but she'll be hoping for more than that in this group right now. Brian, the prizes are on the table. Who's going to open the boxes?
Well, I was just counting the numbers there. We get 37 riders in the front of the race from the 3 groups here, spread over 51 seconds. We've got 5 riders from the Netherlands, 5 riders from the team of France, all three riders still in here for Germany, but more importantly, the Swiss still started with 5. I've got 5 riders still in contention at the front of the race, but the French have taken it on. They have got Ferrand Prévot, Kerbeau, Labus, Lynette and Music. So they've still got 5 riders, and they want to control things just like the Italians did before. But the Italians started with 7, but they only have Longo Borghini and Malcotti left in this group.
Yep, it's been a fry-up. 14%. These are the steepest gradients that we have on the course. Bit of dispatch here from Rug. Doesn't want the weight of the bottle. You saw it still had fluid within it. She'll take another one once we get over the top, and Benito's starting to struggle here. That is a rider in pain. Meanwhile, Vass has now got help from Lichty, which means that Switzerland believe having 2 up front is better than 1, and France light up. Italy, I think, are bailing, potentially a sinking ship here, and this is fabulous. France are asking a big question. Who's going to make the answer?
Yeah, this is a big question, and that means that France want to really put pressure on the Netherlands. The Swiss are in the front foot here. They've got 2 riders at the front of the race, and you have to ask Lichty, why she's starting to ride. Well, why not? She's got Ruig in front with Benito, but there's only a matter of 15 seconds. Just as I was saying that France at numbers, they're starting to drop off now. So 26 here is Kerbeau, who's done a bit of riding, but you have to ask the question of the Netherlands here, because Anna van der Breggen at the back, Demi Vollering, is a little bit further up, but just kind of hanging in the back there. You've got Ruyakas as well, so they're a team that started to instigate, tried to push the jabs, but are sitting back for the moment.
Meanwhile, you're looking at Yasmin Lichty with Blanca Vass, and now a gap And here we are. Here are your answers coming through right now. This is Barbara Malacotti, who is just drifting up on the left-hand side. Not a bad climber, but options are disappearing big time for Longo Borghini in terms of support.
Yes, you know, they started with 7. They were one of the stronger. They took it on. They closed the gap when Van Eyron went. You know, they've lost pretty much all their team, and I know that Longo Borghini is quite happy to look after herself in this situation. She likes to go long as well, so she doesn't mind. But like you said, she'll have to do pretty much most of it on her own now.
Well, I've got to say that Elise Chabet has got 2 riders up the road, which is a great gift. France would like to have something similar. Thank you very much. And of course, that drive starts now for France. What have you got? Well, mood music maybe, and Evita Mujic has indeed started to set the tempo of the final approach here. The Netherlands want to be involved. They don't want Mujic to go up the road and offer up good support. And so it is that France are indeed in dictatorial role. And look at some of the big names that find themselves out of position right now. This is fascinating. That's Labousse back here, who did a lot of work a little bit earlier on. This seems to be a regathering, but look at this. Demi Vollering is back here. So, indeed, as well, is Özge Ziegert, and we've got some real strength, have set sail. They've left the dockside, and they're about to turn on all of the outboards. Let's go.
Yeah, it seems to be some of the kind of A-listers are looking at each other.
Yep.
Some of their teammates going down the road now. It doesn't look as if this kind of main group behind, they've just detached themselves around the front of the peloton, are really interested in kind of helping each other. So it's a very interesting and balanced part of the race today.
I think Valliere is part of that group for Canada. If that's the case, that is a very strong rider that could almost end up as a limpet mine within this flotilla.
Switzerland have got another rider in this group. They had 5 riders at the start. They've got one in front with Ruig. They've got Lichte in the chasing group of 2, and now they've got another rider in here.
I'm not sure if it's Chabet. If it is, they are in a very fine place. There is had to be a response. It's too strong up front. They didn't want this one to go away from them, and Ugstedt is there for Norway as well. She indeed decides to stamp on the pedals, doesn't want to miss out. Everyone knows that this is the danger. It's deliverable from this distance. They all know it, and we're just coming up and around for that descent to the cobbles, and then take us up to the start-finish line of our laps. And look at this, Marcos Maliotti, Colori, Music, Garcia is part of this group as well. So Spain again, but Marcus up there. Fisher Black, Niedermeyer of Germany, and Valliere of Canada. Wow, this is a fighting force, Brian. It's dangerous.
It is, but just look at Marcus at the back there, the Dutch rider. She's not contributing. I did think that, you know, this was maybe kind of running away from the Dutch.
Imagine poder criar o que quiser, só com o poder da imaginação. Conheça a Base 44.
For them, but I tell you what, for the Swiss, they're playing a blinder at the moment.
Absolutely superb. That's Chabet is just marking out that last move. Maybe she wants a tow rope over. Elise Chabet. Well, she loves short, steep climbs, and on the last 2 occasions she's been top 10 as Elise Chabet. In fact, I'm looking at Kaluri, but Chabet is the one that marked out from the main group of favourites just behind. So she's wise to the moves, part of the battle plan, and she can push on. So she has a teammate up front, but Elise Chabet is very much dialed in. I think the Swiss are playing a blinder here, Brian.
Yeah, they've got one rider in each of these groups in front.
Every one of them.
Australia now with Loretta Hansen on the front here, trying to kind of bring things back a little bit, make it a little bit easier for Amanda Spratt. But just look at the Swiss here. They've got, with Vass there, they've got Lichte in front, they've got Ruig. Kaluri is in the chase group of 8 riders. Started with 5 riders, and already, you know, they've got 3 riders at almost the front of the race.
Absolutely remarkable. This is Ruig now that's pushing on, doesn't necessarily need the help of Benito. Got a 19-second gap on her teammate Yasmin Lichti, who's coming over with Blanka Vas of Hungary. Then a shorter gap, just under 10 seconds, to another group that contains Kalori. And then amongst the favourites, they have got Chabet. What an amazing sequence of effective decisions have been taken by the riders themselves. They're not getting any help from the side of the road.
No, they're not, and I think we may see the Swiss riders here not contributing. Hansen leads on for Australia here. Let's see, because it's starting to really get serious now. 47 seconds back from the front of the race, but the riders in front are only 20-odd seconds behind, but the Swiss rider, I think Chabet, is sitting second place in that main group. She's rubbing her hands. She's got two teammates in this group. I don't think they'll contribute because Ruig is in front. But I tell you what, if I was them, I would encourage them to do so.
Yeah, exactly. I think Chabet could kind of look after herself. It's ideal terrain for her. She could even bridge this, I believe, anyway. 41 seconds to the front group, certainly to the chase. And looking at the chase at 16, 17 seconds as it is. Here is Vas just about to be absorbed. Chapeau to her. She's been one of the big animators of the day, you know.
Yeah, just a little bit too early. You know, unfortunately for her, she did look strong today, but the two Swiss riders that were in front, it looked as if they're in trouble with that front group. Naeem Fisher-Black for New Zealand looking good at the front of the race as well.
Meanwhile, it still goes on. This is Brody Chapman, who's actually really wrestled the bike to stay with this, just goes round Loretta Hansen. Meanwhile, out front, Ruig still there. Benito's managed to hold on. They're on this gnarly cobbled section. Once they've dealt with it, they've still got to do this twice more, don't forget, which is always going to hurt. Ruig doing a great job up front. Lichti now on her own as Vas has been absorbed. Meanwhile, chased down by a group that includes Kalori for Switzerland. Well, it could be part of their master plan. Quite remarkable. And for everyone else, Swiss time might be running out. Let's see, 31.8 kilometres from home. Notably, of course, for this group, which we're looking at right now, just over 500 metres from the top of this cobbled section. France grinding in, sitting in others. This is Van der Breggen towards the back. Just up ahead of her is Van Arroy, who was part of the breakaway push. Vollering looking strong round the outside, not wanting anything to get away from her, and still 31 kilometres to go. And just look at this chase group, and the easiest ride of all, surely for Elise Chabet, who's part of this chase down at the moment, staying attentive. She's got a teammate with her as well. All Swiss riders still active.
Yeah, Russo. I think in the chase group, you know, one of the Swiss riders is gone. So they've only got one rider at the front here with Ruig, another one of their teammates just behind. I think it might be Lichti, and you know, definitely Chabet and Russo. So they're looking strong today, but I think the major contenders just sitting back for the moment. Come over the top of this climb, start to head towards the finish, and there'll be 2 laps to go.
Oh, Van der Breggen, that shows you just how tough this is. Van der Breggen, 2 times a world champion, and not this time by the looks of things. That is a toughie, Brian, to see.
It is. Twice winner, twice second, took a couple of years out, came back to the sport. You know, she looked strong, maybe not back to where she was, but she's been very, very competitive.
And again, this chase group here, just a modest margin back to the peloton, which could almost just be described as a group itself of fewer and fewer band members. Still got Niewiadoma in here, by the way, for Poland as well. This is looking absolutely spectacular. France trying to hold on by the skin of their teeth. Italy hyper diminished as well. France actually look great with great strength, and still we have Ziegert here for Slovenia, I beg your pardon. Good Lord, what a finale this is turning out to be, and what a day it is for Switzerland. Yeah, look at this.
Birakova still in there for the Ukraine, but I think the 2 in front will be joined quickly by this chasing group. They're only 8 seconds down, but you could see that Pauline Provin-Prevot was just sitting behind her teammates. She's got a couple of teammates to help her. This is some of the riders coming up to join forces at the front, but these last 2 laps, I think, with the numbers that Pauline Provin-Prevot has got, I think she'll wait to the final lap.
Niedermeyer flicks her elbow out from that chasing group, just beyond that duo going off your screen right now. And here we are. This has Marcus for the Netherlands, another great satellite to send up the road. Fisher Black for New Zealand. Niedermeyer is here for Germany. Valliere of Canada, who at the beginning of the day, I was telling you that this had to be an outside hope for her. And she's just bouncing nice and comfortable on the barriers. As you can see, as part of the chase, hasn't lit it up just yet. 2 laps to go. By the time they cross this start-finish line, and right now, Benito gets back involved with Rug on her back wheel, just heading to cross the line, and we'll have a look at the clock, which tells you what the deficit is back to the chase. It's hardly anything at the moment. Crossing the line, Canada here. Valliere is there. Fisher Black just on a wheel, tucked in as well for Spain is Garcia, and suddenly it kicks off, slightly misgeared on the attempt here that comes out from Italy at the back, and this is where the big names start to come and play, Brian. We've got that kind of distance. This is deliverable, but you've got to be in the right place. Is it the right time?
Well, she always wants to go early. She is such a strong rider, but Niwa and Dom was straight on her, and you could see that Kim Lacourt with gel, she was just about to take that gel, but she had to react, and you have to react when Longo Borghini goes on the attack.
She's gone, Longo Borghini, in a good way, straight off and up the road. America also involved here, likewise just about everybody else. But look what it's done. It's actually cracked open the treasure chest, and there is a rainbow jersey to be found within. But some are indeed without the resources to make this stick. What a moment, Brian. 2 laps to go. Here we are.
Yeah, no, it's kicking off, and you know, the Vollering was up there. I don't think it's going particularly well at the moment for the Netherlands. They seem to be in the back foot. This group has come back together at the front to make a group of 10 riders, which is significant. Longo Borghini has got a teammate here. This is why she's trying to come across to this group. But yeah, it's all kicking off into the last 2 laps of the World Championships here in Rwanda, and let's see what the others have got.
Let's see what they've got indeed. Royce and Lichty up ahead, Kalori and Roig. And indeed now we are just starting to dig in big time, and for those who have been found out, they've been found wanting potentially. Royakas Van der Roy, Demi Vollering in a chase group with Rihanna Marcus further up the road. And it looks like we might get ourselves a bit of a regathering, but it could end up being a sprint, this, Brian, the way that it is going, because we are regathering our resources. A lot of the teams are. Some have burnt down their teammates. Looks like Ruyakas is at the end of her resources.
Yeah, it does. She's been kind of hanging at the back for, you know, the last kind of couple of laps as well. But yeah, it's a sit and wait. It's you know, we could see that Longo Borghini, well, she's got a teammate in front, but she's on her own here. She's on the left-hand side. She did try there, but this is a few kind of hit and hopers. This is riders that have been distanced off the back and thought, well, if I stay here, I'm going to get dropped again. Why not just give it a dig?
Well, if you got it, spend it. And there's a few riders here that want to do precisely that. And as you can see, it's delivery time. If you've got anything left, you better go for it. Alarud it is, on a course, as I mentioned, that suits her brilliantly, has decided that she needs to get herself up front. And every time we say one of these names, Brian, they're known to everybody. They must have the big names in their head, because they're marking them out beautifully. It's a whole sequence of attacks that we're seeing now right now. It's not going to stop.
Well, this is a part of the course that we said just earlier. This is Ella Wiley of New Zealand trying to go across. Of course, she's got a teammate just in front. I'm not too sure if she knows that, but this is the part of the course that, you know, is probably the easiest of the lap. And, you know, they're trying to take advantage of it. But you can see Longo Berghini at the back here with Pauline Prevot. They're just sitting and waiting. There's a few of them doing this and, you know, playing that game of poker.
Well, here we are. Chapman is from Australia. Actually, is it Brody? She looked like she was struggling earlier on. Well, clearly she's refound her inner strength, which is fantastic. Alerud is here for Norway. Mentioned how well the course suits her. It's taken a while for her to show her hand, but they are here with that familiar sort of custard helmet. The Norwegians have.
O que vai rolar nesse encontro? Eu vou te explicar exatamente como que você pode revisar física e matemática com um método.
This is Pauline Prevot, Ferrand Prevot of France as well. Norway would love to remind us of their greatness as well here. It is Brody Chapman, you know. Yeah,
she was actually distanced on the climb. She came back, and when you came back, a little bit of speed, just thought, you know, why not?
Yeah.
There's no point kind of just sitting back to get dropped again in the next climb. So, you know, she's going straight on the attack. She was joined by Ella Wiley and Alerud just come across for Norway.
Well, time to dig in. It's Prince Albert of Monaco, of course, starting to think about World Championships themselves. Prince Albert's been a ubiquitous part, of course, of cycling. Good to see him here. Meanwhile, Roy Calori, too, from Switzerland, is part of this group. Spain also well represented out front. And it's swollen to 10 riders, this. We remind you that we have Valliere of Canada. She's kept herself very quiet. Now watch her on the climbs, Brian, as well. She looks smooth as silk. This is Monsieur Partillon, our glorious leader here for the UCI, surrounded by the dignitaries from Rwanda, of whom we thank.
I never thought Bernardino was Rwandan. He's French. He was sat on the right-hand side of La Partillon, but in the main group here, it's slowed down significantly. Look at it, wow. 125 and growing the whole time. And
gonna get cooked.
You could see that in the group in front, that there was a few riders just sitting there doing nothing, probably wondering what to do. And that can something kind of hinder the front group a little bit. So Italy were represented in front with Malcotti and Marcus was there for the Netherlands. They are not contributing at all.
They're going to miss out, Brian, because it's starting to get set. And Canada with Magdalene Valliere, she took the Trofeo Palma, don't forget. Very, very good season that she's had, but she is very loud on this kind of terrain. And you know, sometimes it takes a rider to be matched. And that can reveal itself even to the contender. She's on the front at the moment. She wants to set the pace. That's how fresh she is.
The problem we've got here, you can see the Van Anrooy going back to the car. They are a little bit uncertain about what was happening here. Marcus, I think, is doing the right thing. She's not contributing. Neither is the Malcotti of the Italian team. So it's got up to 1 minute and 40 seconds already. Labus is another rider that doesn't know what to do. So there are a lot of riders in front, 10 riders in total with another 40 seconds, 39 seconds. These are riders that were dropped the last time, trying to make amends there. But there's some strong riders in here. You mentioned Mavi Garcia. Well, she's got Benito for help as well. So and Naomi Rook, we've seen already put in a big effort. But even saying that, Carlton, with 10 riders, not all contributing, sitting and waiting and playing the teammate game, but 146, they've lost a considerable amount of time in quick succession here.
Massive, and it's hard to find back because you're either climbing or descending, Brian. It's not like where they can almost TT over on the flat. There isn't any flat for them to do that.
No, not at all. This is Sandrine Carboul. She's been doing a lot of work in this race, and you know, we're on to this real kind of fast part of the course now, and I think France are starting to do something. A lot of the Dutch riders here, but they're all waiting for the orders from behind. This is the front of the race, but not everybody is contributing here. A lot of passengers. Still 146 is significant in the last couple of laps here, but still doable from some of the riders behind.
Do you know, in the pack, a 4 from the Netherlands. Yes, they've got Rihanna Marcus up front, who's a great time trialist. Might actually serve her very well, but she's got a problem that she's got some very, very strong riders around her within the front portion. And amongst the favourites, I don't know whether there's been a burn down of their ambitions, because with 23 kilometres to go, 2 minutes is a lot to make up. And if you start to push into the gap, you're going to be helping your rivals. Yeah. There's a standoff here, and here it goes. Yeah. Had to happen.
Van der Breggen's gone for this one. She was dropped. Like 148. This is getting a little bit serious now, and you know, I don't know if they're able to get any communication up to Marcus or anything at all. But the race is not over for these riders in this main peloton, but it's significantly harder for them.
Yeah, dare I say it?
Some of them are back.
My view is that they are.
Amanhã, eu e Samuel vamos pedalar amanhã.
Mariak is back in here, called to duty potentially. Alerud is up front. Her teammate here, Ugset, is part of the favourites. Sometimes being part of the favourites does not garner your favoured status, and Van der Breggen was marked out of this. This is what I was saying, Brian. I think the winner is going to come up from further up the road, because they're neutralising each other's drive. They're not all going to work together because they've got teammates up front as well. It might be an unexpected source of our winner today.
Yeah, it looks like Italy, France, Netherlands. I'm not contributing.
No.
Danger in the front is Naomi or Naim Fisher Black. She's got a teammate here, but these 3 riders were dropped the last time. But it looks as if Anna van der Breggen, the most experienced rider in this race, is now starting to ride at the front of the peloton to try and bring this gap down a little bit more manageable.
Well, I think that can only be that she's working for Demi Vollering today, because if she's putting that kind of effort in, it's going to have a big cost. But look at the time gap, Brian, because this front group of 10, we're looking at the trio of chasers at the moment, which is Wiley of Australia, Alerud of Norway with the custard helmet, and indeed Brody Chapman as well here, the Kiwi. Meanwhile, further back down the road here, Wiley from is the Kiwi, I beg your pardon. Chapman from Australia. You of course all know that. My mistake, apologies momentarily. Getting very excited about this front group, and actually starting to wonder what on earth can be offered up. I told you about Valier. Here she is again, super fresh, and now starting to think about going on a long ranger. What sort of credentials does she have at time trial? Not the greatest, but she knows how to ride a lumpy course, and this suits her brilliantly, and Canada might make a steal here. 1:38, they found 10 seconds only, but that's in the last 2 kilometres by the peloton. They've got to get quicker, Brian.
Yeah, it was a reaction there from Mavi Garcia of Spain. She put a bit of a dig in at the bottom of the climb, took the Canadian Valers with her, and also Naim Fisher Black, and Marcus is in the back foot, but just look more importantly behind Carlton. You can see that the French rider and the Italian rider is dropped from the front of the race. I'm not too sure that that information will get back that quickly, but we might see more teams starting to ride on the front now.
This is big news, what's going on back here. Because there's some very big names that have been found out by the course, I believe. Minute and a half with 20 Ks to go. Is that a bridge too far, Brian?
No, it's not at all. I think if the information gets back now to the French that music is now dropped from the front of the race, you'll get not only the Dutch team riding on the front, you'll get the French as well. So they'll start to ride, and they can bring this gap down. We've seen it in many of the other races where, 45 seconds to a minute has been brought back in the final climb up towards the finish itself.
This test, nasty one, is going to be done by this chase in just over 50 Ks, as you can see. But I almost think the crest is sometimes the most difficult to take. Here's Magdalene Valier as part of this front group with Fisher Black, Nemo Fisher Black, and Mavi Garcia. That's a strong trio. I've got a lot of belief in this trio, and I think it's being, I guess, accentuated by the gaps that they're already throwing up. Here we go. They've got 1:45. They are working very well on a peloton that is losing. They're losing the answers. They've got the lexicon, but I'm afraid they just can't find how to, I guess, disseminate the messages that they're getting out from out front, which are few and far between, as we know in the world.
Yeah, they won't know what's happening. I'm not too sure if any of the team cars behind will be getting any of the pictures that we're getting. Some of them do, some of them don't. Of course, they're going through the pit area if they get any information kind of shouted up to them. But really, the Netherlands really on the back foot here with Marcus. Wasn't able to stay with the three riders in front. Van der Breggen now gone. Kerboer looks like it was now gone. So it's all for some of these riders, and how many other teammates have they got left to retrieve this?
Well, Reiner Marcus is part of the chase, but look at it. It's a 12-second margin to these riders who are now working very well together. They're all thinking about a medal. They don't know what colour. Via sheer alchemy and force of will, they will indeed potentially turn bronze to gold. Let's wait and see. But picking a favourite on a day like this is very difficult. Even if you have three riders only in contention, any one of them can win it, because if they're still here, they have what it takes, Brian.
Well, it's the perfect situation, Carlton, because all three of them are thinking, well, if he can stay away, I'm going to get a medal. So it's a perfect scenario having three riders in front. 1:46 back to the peloton. Let's see what's happening there, but I really do think that when we go on to this cobble climb up towards the finishing line, that we now have to see the main players come out to play.
Well, I think we're going to get it, but I think they might have left it too late to play their hand. There's elbows flicking out all over the place here, and quite frankly, nobody wants to come and join the dance. There are three up the road. I think they've got an amazing opportunity here today. Let's see if they can deliver it, because for everybody else, as Benito comes through here for Spain, she's got a teammate up the roads in Garcia. Now then, we are looking. That was in fact Benito, I beg your pardon. This is your trio. Garcia. Chase here, but where is the peloton of favourites? Nearly 2 minutes now, Brian. They're done for.
Yeah, they're here. This is the group now, and it's led by France. But I think just looking down the line here, there's a lot of the teams are depleted. If these riders want to contend for the victory today, they have to do it themselves, because it's a lot smaller. It's very limited. So I think Pauline Previn-Prevot, Nieuwendomo, Lacourse, they all have to try and do something on this climb up towards the finish, and Chloe Dygard is still there. They cannot wait any longer now. They have to contribute or go themselves in the cobble climb, and I think when we get on to that, I think that's when we'll start to see strike out for glory for some of the riders that are left in that group.
I think it's too much for them. I really genuinely believe that we talked about those riders for whom this course absolutely suits. Valliere was one of those we picked out right at the beginning of today for Canada, and she's here. And we haven't mentioned her much throughout the day, but said keep an eye, and she's screened herself absolutely beautifully. And the same goes for all of the three riders that are here. I'd say Garcina's probably done the most work today of that leading trio. We'll see whether that's a deficit for her later on. Reiner Marcus would not have been the pick for the Netherlands today, but it looks like it's falling upon her shoulders, because peloton itself is not listed Naomi Rugg, who's been very much animated today. Meanwhile, this is the front group. It's only 6 seconds back to those that look like they're struggling. Now, who's got anything left amongst this front trio? They've kind of had the opportunity to take a little bit of respite. Not much as a trio, though, Brian, but some.
No, I think in the group in front, 9, Fisher Black was sitting at the back. She wasn't contributing too much. She does look relatively fresh. Mavi Garcia was looking good as well. But this is the main group pushing into the bottom of the climb, and let's see, they have to go. They cannot wait any longer if they want to win the title. They have to go from the bottom of this climb.
Well, you've heard Uncle Bry. It's time to do or die, and there are never, as you've always said, Brian, whoever takes the rainbow bands has really earned it.
Oh, they have. No doubt about it. You got Niedermayer just coming up. Marcus, can she make it up? Unfortunately for Kaluri, I don't think she's going to make it, but it's a big call for the Netherlands, and I don't think she will make it, but Niedermayer makes it 4 in front.
Wow. Marcus struggling. Niedermayer has got onto Garcia, Fisher Black and Valier. So it's 4 up front with Rihanna. Marcus trying to join the fun. Doesn't look like anyone is enjoying themselves amongst the riders. Somebody is going to win today. Any kind of medal today, let me suggest, has been extraordinarily hard fought for and is going to be almost a career-defining moment. And, well, the definition of pain, Ryan, you're seeing it right now. Van Arroy, who did so much earlier on, is off the back. Likewise, Ziggert is just starting to struggle here to hold on. She's got no teammates, hasn't had all day, done a good job of thinking a good ride and indeed producing one, but you know, ultimately you need backup, Brian.
You know, the gap is coming down 121 now, so it's getting rather interesting, but I tell you what, they cannot, and if this I think it's Labus that's at the front here, pushing hard. She has to continue to do this. When she goes, then the favourites have to go. They can close this 121 gap, but they cannot look at each other and look around. The only problem about you know, what's happening at the front with Niedermayer joining here, I said it was perfectly 3. Now there's 4. Now there's a bit of kind of doubt. Well, one of us, if we do stay away, is not going to get that medal.
It might be 5, possibly 6. Switzerland, after being in such a fantastic position, just losing out now. But a quartet, yeah, somebody's going to be without a medal if they brought it home. Long way still to go, of course, and the possibility that Ryan and Marcus could indeed get across. Looks like she's struggling at the moment. Kaluri might actually find hidden depths in a few moments' time as well, but she's just about to exit the cobbles, as you can see. But Niedermayer, what a ride by her as well to bridge over almost solo. She was very good in Glasgow, actually, as well. Let's remind ourselves, got herself a solid top 20 there on a very difficult course. But the German, well, she can produce something special here today. She's got herself into an asking position. Minute 20 now, with 15 kilometres to go. So that's 10 Ks gone. They've found, what, 25 seconds in 10 kilometres. What else have they got, Brian, to bridge?
Well, I just say that the favourites have to come out and play. They still haven't at the moment. I think they might just be leaving it a little bit late now. I expected to see them pushing hard on this climb up to the finishing line, but for the moment they're leaning on the French and playing a waiting game. It might be too long a wait now.
This is a very dangerous marker that they've set down for themselves, really, and finally it looks like the wake-up call has got through. It's kind of now or never, but you know what? You can ask the body for something, Brian, and it doesn't always give it you back.
Yeah, no, they have to continue at this rate, and it's how much can they continue at this rate? That's the question. But it does look as if Marcus is going to make it 5 in front, and that could make a significant difference because she will not contribute, I don't think.
No, she's got a big excuse, and that's that she's starting amongst the favourites. But She might be the best of the Netherlands. Let's wait and see. They're beating the hoardings. It's the bell, Brian. For who does it toll?
Yep, still looking like this race is definitely not over yet. We get 5 in front. New Zealand, well, they've got Naim Fisher-Black, who's looked good. Mavi Garcia, well, for Spain, they could pull off a big double victory today.
That would be absolutely magnificent. Still battling is Gina Kaluri, waiting to see what the gap is. A definitive one it will be. Back to the group of favourites. Well, we've got some outsiders, not too far off our thinking points out front. But amongst them, well, who do you pick for a medal? And indeed, is it still too premature to start speaking in those terms? Kaluri takes the bell. Meanwhile, just behind, they're starting to grind themselves into the gap. And here we go.
Rosa.
Had to be. Somebody had to pick it up. And Italy now just starting to animate proceedings. They are now lit up, but is it all too late?
Yeah, Russa's coming here for Switzerland. They have been in the front foot the whole time. Then Longo Borghini, Kim Lacourt, it's all happening. But Russa, what an engine she's got. And she's gone off in pursuit. And she's only 1 minute and 2 seconds down.
Royce, a brilliant time trialist, and now she's setting her stall out. Can she possibly deliver something very, very special? Some that have just run out of resources from that favoured group right now. And I'm afraid that Ziggett looks to be one of those. Chloe Dygert alongside her just for the time being. Is it all too late? That's the big question, Brian.
Yeah, well, for Rosa, well, it's up to these 5 riders. If they contribute all the way to the line, then one of them could be world champion. But if they start looking at each other and playing that kind of waiting game, Marcus, if she doesn't do any work, then that's the problem. But Rosa, well, she's coming with a vengeance, isn't she?
Well, let's not forget that Royce is indeed the time trial champion. I had the privilege of calling her home a couple of days ago. She was absolutely brilliant, was Marlon. Beat Anna van der Breggen, don't forget, and Demi Vollering. Both of those are now in her wake. And Royce is setting the mood here, I think it's fair to say, amongst the favourites. But has she left it too late? That's the big question. The same question we've been asking of all the favourites, Brian.
Yeah, but I can't understand, what's happening here with the Italians. Malcotti is sitting on Rosa, but then Borghini, she's coming back. She's been dropped already. Surely she looked behind and go, Longo Borghini needs my help. This is what they don't want. As soon as they start to hesitate, which they're doing at the moment, then every chance is gone. They're running out of time at the moment. I still believe that if they started to come out and play and ride like Rouser is doing at the moment, they would stand a chance, but not when they start marking each other out.
Well, let's have a look, shall we? The peloton detailed at a minute, but it started to fracture, and this is brilliant work by Rouser, who's had a fabulous time of things. Don't forget, individual time trial champion, so rainbow bands there. She also had a dig at the mixed medals there as well, and right now, is she going to bid for glory? She's got a lot of very quality riders up ahead of her, unfortunately, but she's possibly got the best chance among Switzerland. Chabet, I think, is still part of this group. I'm looking through, can't quite see her at the moment. Meanwhile, it is still a good vanguard of 5 that I think are still capable of taking the day that are out front.
Yeah, definitely. They're very capable, but look at Marcus. She's not doing anything. Whether that gets into the heads of the other riders, when you're in that situation, Carlton, you don't give 100%, and they still need to keep on giving 100%.
Royce has found herself in a difficult situation. She's getting on for a 46 seconds down, and she doesn't want to do everything herself. Malcotti is basically saying, no, I'm working for Longo Borghini. I don't think Longo Borghini is going to be today. 54 seconds, I mean, the old rule about 10 kilometres doesn't really count on this kind of distance, and the way that this day has been ridden, that nobody is going for it. They have decided no, Brian.
Yeah, the favourites are throwing it away now. Pauline Provan-Prevot at the back there. They're without teammates.
Você conhece a App Vida? Médico, dentista, exames, hospitais e clínicas, tudo conectado. Tem até consulta pelo app.
Eles cuidam de cada capítulo da sua saúde. A Aprivida.
This golf climb, look here, Rouser, she's catching Calori. Calori's going to give her a little bit of help if she can.
This could be absolutely brilliant for Switzerland. Marlon Reusser, who did a fabulous job in the time trial, well, now she can TT it all the way. Nothing from Calori. Reusser comes straight through. Malcotti stays with her. Almost got a magic carpet ride, you might say, but I don't think Malcotti has got the punch a little bit later on. She might have. She should get up the climbs better, but Reusser can take on those climbs. Super powerful athlete. Brilliant. And look at the chase that's coming up from behind here, Brian.
I think that looks like Kim Lacourt is coming across here, and what a victory that would be. The first African world champion. But yeah, it's all hands to the pump now. The French are come back, and they were dropped. They've now come back and trying to help out Pauline Prevot, but this is getting too close for comfort now.
Here goes Prevot. Now, we saw the long conversation that she had with Labousse. That's the tee up, and here goes Pauline Prevot. 11 kilometres, got a bridge 44 seconds. That's a tough ask. It depends who's on your wheel, and slotting in straight onto our wheel from Poland, Niewiadoma, who does not want to miss out on an opportunity, and there she is. Rock solid, but rock and roll, you might say. Who have they got for company? That's the big question. And once again, Switzerland very much involved. Absolutely phenomenal ride as well. And it's Rüg once more has actually found herself in a place where she might well indeed start to feature. Longo Borghini also now part of this big chase quartet. But will they share the duty, Brian?
Yeah, well, Longo Borghini, this is what they have to do. Niewiadoma, Pauline Prevot, and Vollering has made it across here now. I was wondering where she was. They have to commit. Any hesitation, it's gone. But just looking at the gap, if that's 36 seconds to Reusser, she looks super strong here. Calori, well, he couldn't even get on the wheel of this flying Swiss.
Alarud is in here. Labousse wants to come up and help yet again. Maybe help herself to a medal. But I'm afraid this is going to be potentially too much. Let's have a look. We're looking at the lead. We've got the 10K to go marker. They just passed by that. 5 riders here, and Reine Marcus may well have a brilliant opportunity here. She's got a super card to play, which is her joker is essentially that she's working for Demi Vollering, who's coming up right now.
Look, I'm really interested. We can't see them yet. I think it's Kim Lacourt coming across the Reusser here. If she can get across, there's another couple of riders with her. This is what, 32 seconds. Reusser is really eating into this gap. She went through the finishing line just over a minute now, down, but look at Kim Lacourt is coming.
Wow, now then, we have one heck of a finale here. What a way to draw this, indeed, women's elite competition to a close. We'll have the men's elite race for you tomorrow, we remind you. But 9.4 kilometres from home. And have they left it too late, Brian? That's the question, the eternal one.
I think the peloton have now. They haven't. They've kind of looked at each other. The French on retrieval now. I just thought that when Pauline Prevot went there and Longo Borghini came across and Niewiadoma, that could have been a fighting force, and then Vollering came across, and then all of a sudden it's been left up to Labousse, I think it is, for France. You cannot leave it up to your team. You have to do it yourself if you want to get back to the race. But 29 seconds now, 28 and counting. We're coming up to this penultimate climb, and it'll be really interesting if Reusser is for Switzerland has been joined by Kim Lacourt.
I think there we are. Here's your chase as detail. We've got the lead. Reusser is there. Lacourt detailed with her. So this now gets to be absolutely fascinating. Kimberly Lacourt, we remind you, is from Mauritius. Liège-Bastogne-Liège took a stage on the Tour de France as well. She's got to dig as deep as she's ever done. She finds herself just tucked in, but right now out front, can they possibly catch them? I think the quintet might well have enough strength within their number. We still don't know what Marcus has got actually from that front group.
27 seconds now, Carlton. They've taken back quite a lot of time, 30 odd seconds. Reusser is really dialed into this. Shabby is with her as well. She will contribute. Kim Lacourt knows that she needs to get up to the group in front. This is coming really down to the wire now. 8 kilometres to go, 26 seconds. For this team, however, the group here with France at the front here, it could be a little bit too late for them.
Well, we thought that Switzerland may well have just missed time themselves, but Reusser suddenly steps it up. She drives in, and she's got Chabet. Chabet's specialism is short, sharp climbs. Guess what we've got to deal with? And look at this, even the front group now is starting to think about it, and this is because Marcus won't work, and they don't like this one little bit, and they're going to see that gap start to dissipate. They're going to allow back in Malcotti, Chabet, Reusser, and Kimberly Lecourt. Kimberly Lecourt, all the gifts may well come to her. This is madness, but they haven't got anything left. Come on, let's work together, says Garcia, and nobody wants to respond. Meanwhile, they're all sitting on Reusser at the moment, but Chabet at the back of this quartet is the favourite right now to take the title. 7.4 kilometres. We've got a chase. We've got an uninterested front group here that are starting to lose heart, essentially. They've got to re-find it, and it comes down to Valliere, the Canadian, to reignite the pace here. She doesn't want to put too much in because you'll just guide others to the title. 5 they've got there. Niedermeyer, Valliere is on the front here. Fischer Black in the vanguard as well. Garcia and